projects that I've been working on most recently and that I'm bringing to this conference specifically is a work that we've been doing in the Congo Basin with our partners there. So WRI works with partners all over the world, and these NGO partners are NESDA and CODEL in Cameroon and the Democratic Republic of Congo. So we work with them, and this specific project is about how indigenous and local community stakeholders view REDD and how it might affect them and what their concerns are for the future and REDD and forest and climate issues. So we held workshops with hundreds of local and indigenous and non-governmental and parliamentarian stakeholders in these countries to kind of discuss these issues. And some of the key points that came from these discussions were about capacity building and governance for REDD. So there is a lot of focus, and this presentation that we just saw is really focused on kind of developing good numbers, good understanding of really what forest cover there is, how it's changed over time, how it might change in the future, and what carbon values are associated with that. And that's key, and that's a prerequisite for really being able to develop a good REDD framework. But really, what people on the ground are concerned about is whether or not the governance capacity is really there to make a REDD policy happen. So they're worried about revenue sharing and whether or not a REDD program would really have them see money or see revenues or see welfare, livelihood improvements. They're worried about development. Is REDD going to keep them personally from being able to develop their country or their individual livelihoods? Will their agricultural expansion be curtailed by a REDD program? They're worried about institutional capacity at the national and the local levels. You know, who's going to be measuring it? Is it going to be people coming out from outside to do it, or people from the country itself? Is there going to be this technology transfer? And so I think, you know, I mostly work on forest carbon measurement, and that's really what my background is. But working with our partners, it's really much more complex than that. So when I think about common but differentiated responsibilities, that's really something that comes to mind first. We talk about differentiated responsibilities, and I think it's true that each, you know, developed and developing countries have these, they're trying to share responsibilities, but there's really different challenges in each case that we have to take into account. So I think a lot of what needs to happen during these negotiations is key provisions for capacity building in developing countries so that they can share these responsibilities and that they can really they can participate in the process at the level that we hope that they can.